How's it going, everybody? I promised a second part of the season reveal. I've covered the immediate changes we will see on Thursday, December 9th. And today I want to talk about the upcoming testing round on December 30th. Mostly the Conqueror Rework and my current expectations about him. The video thumbnail might be a little clickbaity here, but he'll definitely be a menace with what we've seen so far. So yeah, Dominion Renown changes and then Conqueror Rework. As usual, links down in the video description. And what you'll also find down there is a link to today's video sponsor. Epic Loot Shop was kind enough to provide us with some stuff. Christmas is around the corner, and if you're still looking for some presents, then here is your chance. Apart from the Norse-inspired jewelry you already know about, they recently had some additions to their inventory. So let's look at two items. First, this Odin goblet. I'll be honest, the product itself is so far out there that is already cool again. Now you have the perfect cup to drink your mead. Because why not? Toast to the upcoming new year. Or if you're sad that Conqueror gets a rework and not George, then here you have a Jormungandr necklace. High quality stainless steel in this world serpent design. Look around the shop and see if you find anything else you like. You can use the code FREEZE at the checkout for free shipping worldwide. As I said, links can be found down below. Check out Epic Loot Shop. Alright, back to the topic at hand. We'll start with the TG changes. I'll put timestamps somewhere so you can skip ahead if the dumb numbers don't interest you that much. Nevertheless, it seems like Ubisoft has made decisions regarding some points. They seem to agree with us that it takes a long time now to unlock feats. Less renowned bonuses, many of those unbeknownst to the majority of players, play a major role here. Especially the tier 4 feat is now a lot easier to get at 320. Regarding Renown itself, they kept the exact same values as in week 2 of the last TG. Unlike what I had assumed after the DBD event, they actually decided to completely remove the Defender Renown. While in its current iteration, the one we have in the live game, it is absolutely busted and rewards defenders way too much. At the same time, completely removing it takes away a major strategical component of the game mode. Backcapping has been made much more lucrative, and while I do understand the reasoning of it, and saying that you still give up renown when dying, the benefit of stalling point generation is way worth it most of the time. Most players never paid any attention to this anyways. They take fights and contest points because their left arse cheek is especially itchy today. That's as much of a connection as you can expect from people. I'm not a fan of it. I don't think this will make for more interesting gameplay, quite the opposite actually. If the devs' intention was to make people go for backcaps all the time, then they certainly succeeded. Then capture timings, no matter how many people are on point, it's 4.5 seconds now. This seems to be pretty much set in stone, otherwise the spawn and map changes we've seen the previous weeks would have been utterly pointless and a waste of time. So yeah, I don't see these changing. I personally would have preferred 2 different cap times, but with this we at least get a bit of an extra chance to contest when fighting at the choke points, aka point entrances. The nerf of smoke bomb also helps here. I also don't think this will unbalance any map specifically. It might actually fix Sentinel. We'll see once we get to that TG. Starting rotation tests aren't exactly all that exciting. The score system for points has been kept the same as week 2 last time. You know, those numbers in the top right that actually aren't what they say they are. These are the actual ones. And then a UI change. The way Renown is displayed seems to be more streamlined and clear. We could also have them pop up in the middle of the guard widget to stay consistent with all the other equally important information that's displayed there. And yes, I'm always skeptical of UI changes in For Honor. They tend to surprise us in many ways. But yeah, those are the Dominion changes. It's mostly them fine-tuning what we've already had. I don't think we'll see any major surprises, if any at all. The TG is also pretty close to the last chance qualifier of the Dom series, so I don't expect any scrims from competitive teams to happen. We'll see. Moving on to Conqueror. As usual, many complaints why not XYZ hero is picked but Conqueror instead. Let me try to explain that. Out of all heroes, Conqueror has by far the most archaic kit of them all. He cannot even feint. In a post-option select world, This is beyond ridiculous. So while many other heroes might be worse than Conk when the majority fights them, he, without a doubt, was in dire need of changes, and I'm glad that he got them. I do like Conqueror, and I know I'm in the minority here. And having seen the kit that he gets, most people will continue to hate him. He'll get lots of extra orange offense, and he seems to be able to punish dodge attacks almost as well as Aramusha. People will seethe when fighting him. But let's take it one step at a time. We'll go over the changes one by one, and at the end I'll talk about what's still missing in the kit. First of all, some stamina buffs. Neither his charging of heavies, sitting in full block, or blocking in full block will consume stamina. This is an absolutely amazing change, as right now, when you block multiple attacks in a gank or teamfight, you're almost guaranteed out of stamina. Superior block drains an insane amount of stamina because of its multipliers, so this change is amazing. And the same goes for the opponents that get bashed. No more stamina drain, no stamina pause. This is one of the most annoying things when fighting a conk. Being kept out of stamina is probably the most boring and unrewarding interaction in this game. Great changes on the stamina front. Then let's stick with the charge in heavies. He can now charge any heavy, not only the starters, but also in-chain ones. He charges quicker, 600 ms instead of 900, so he has access to unblockables pretty much on demand. The problem I can see here is that it might be possible to interrupt him a little bit too easily, especially since the guard is gone, both when charging or throwing neutral heavies. The guard change was pretty much useless anyways, as it was 300 ms for switching, but it offered a little bit. My guess is we won't even really notice that it's gone. In general, they seem to want to have the charging state to be a rather vulnerable one, as they removed some of the options, including dodges. Once fully charged, you do get some options though. Dodging, GBing, and the feint timing is 200 ms instead of previously 300. I'm assuming that this is just the charging itself and not when releasing, but they did show a guard break soft feint. So if this applies to the charging itself as well, then you could in theory counter GB if you have quick enough reactions. I'd want to test this specifically, as that would be kinda strong. The fully charged heavies are obviously still unblockable. They've all been sped up to 700 ms and the damage upped to 32. That's Raider combo zone damage. In general, heavies have gotten a few buffs. They are now feintable. As I said in the beginning, this is currently one of Konk's biggest problems. The soft feint to the bash has been removed and the recoveries are down to 800 ms. That value is consistent with most other heavies, but I'll double check them as we've often had surprises as well. And then improved trajectories. This seems to be a general thing for Conk on most moves. He does have terrible range and hitboxes, so I'll just sum this up now that most moves have this. Hopefully enough. Then, as I mentioned before as well, no more superior block during opener heavies. As it stands right now, a Conk can parry on light timing and superior blocker heavy. There are 3 different timings to do this, depending on the speed of the heavy, but it's definitely doable. I have a few examples in my old Conqueror option select video if you guys are interested, as it's technically still possible even now. And then a massive change. In-chain heavies are now undodgeable. Fully charged, they are unblockable. Uncharged or partially charged, they are undodgeable. Let's talk about the new mix-up then, because he also gets a change to his in-chain bash. At the moment, it is a 800 ms bash with insane tracking that also wall splats and can chain on whiff. The rework speeds this one up to 500 ms. No more wall splatting and no more chaining on whiff. I expect it to be similar to Kyoshin's in-chain bash mix-up, similar recoveries and ways to punish it. I'll do a direct comparison should it turn out that it's the most comparable. Landing any of the bashes now gives a new move. It's still a light input, but it looks like the current full block riposte. It does get uninterruptible stance, meaning hyper armor, so it's hard to interrupt the punish, unlike with most other bash heroes. I'm not sure why they specifically mentioned the chaining to a heavy. My guess is that the heavy will be target swappable, which allows for more defensive options when you are in outnumbered situations. Bash target swap, heavy and feint to be on the safe side. It's something you can observe in competitive matches where Kyoshin is played. But what does the full block look like then? Like I mentioned before, stamina, quality of life changes. And we can no longer zone out of it. That move was usually used to stuff GB attempts. The line about entry time is a little confusing, they basically sped it up a little. So entering the full block is ever so slightly faster now. It's the same speed as Black Prior or Warlord now, and faster than Kyoshin, but Kyoshin has a few fast flows. And it is 100 ms slower than Aramusha. Especially the Aramusha comparison is important here. Because Conk can now recovery cancel with full block after 200 ms. That's also slower than Aramusha to my knowledge. They say all attack recoveries, so bashes should not be included here. And he can also dodge out of the full block stance, which makes this recovery cancel better than Aramusha in terms of safety against unblockables or bashes. I expect to see Conquerors use both these cancels in teamfights a lot, first into full block and then dodge out of it. It won't make him as slippery as on Orochi or Jeonhu, but he will be far from a sitting duck. In general, these recovery cancels will make people rage as they can't blindly dodge attack the hero. First, the undodgeable heavies, and then when they actually manage to get a dodge attack off, they might get full blocked. Now then, the full block riposte. Scutage Collection is the new name for it. You're the medieval IRS now. You get it either from full block or your superior block dodges. It seems to be a 360-degree unblockable with a full block component. So you're getting this thing off pretty much every time. Timing an interrupt might be really hard. It'll depend on the size of the actual hitbox, but a 20 damage attack that initiates chains is pretty good. The devs specifically mentioned that they intended for this to help him in outnumbered fights. I can also see you hitting lots of teammates around you. Then a buff to light attacks, a sentence everyone wants to hear. Better with recoveries, and now Conqueror can finally throw same side lights. He's a better light spammer now. A lovely change. But then his forward dodge bash got nerfed. It is now initiated 100 ms later, so 200 ms into the dodge at the earliest. This is a change that we can probably expect for Warlord and BP2 then, sometime in the future. Currently there is a way to cut that 100 ms dodge startup completely. Will be interesting to test how that interacts with the extra delay. This is also what might break the character's neutral offense at high level. I'll talk about that in just a second. I first want to get the zone attack out of the way. That one received a hefty nerf. The full block component was egregious to fight against, so it's more than understandable that it got removed. It stifled blockable offense quite a bit, so fair enough for that. But what is left now? We're looking at a 600 ms attack with no special properties. It's just a slow light that acts as a chain starter. I can't see any amazing hitbox or anything. It also can't be held anymore to clear minions. Seems to be an almost vestigial move now. Well, guess every hero needs some sort of zone attack. We'll see. Then the one thing Conqueror was always missing. Chase. I think I'm not exaggerating when I say that Conqueror is by far the worst hero when it comes to catching opponents that disengage from him. He has no roll catch, no dash forward attack with good reach or anything really. People can pretty much unlock and walk away from you, and there's nothing you can do about it really. And this plays into the bash mix-up from neutral. Conqueror has nothing to mix up his bash with really. Shinobi got an extra forward dodge heavy to make his kick better. Conqueror is sorely lacking in that department. Even if Conqueror is an amazing hero, if others can just decide to not fight you, then all your amazing moves are just a waste. Maybe Ubisoft will surprise us with something after the testing round. We've always seen additional changes when the rework's released. Here's hoping. The other hope I have is that Conqueror gets better feats. They're not bad per se, but they're also not great. And as I've stated in the past, meta heroes usually have amazing feats, to the point where mediocre heroes are picked just for their feats. But yeah, I've been rambling on for long enough now. I'm really looking forward to playing this hero and testing more in depth. I see a lot of potential and a lot of angry Reddit posts. Let me know what you think. I hope the video was interesting. Thanks for watching. Laters everybody.